Welcome back, viewers. Our focus remains on tracking the top developments where the commander of the United States Central Command, the General Michael Kurilla, has described Pakistan as a phenomenal partner in the counter-terrorism world, highlighting Islamabad's role in operations against ISIS Khorasan. Testifying before the House Armed Services Committee, General Kurilla has strongly advocated for maintaining strategic ties with both India and Pakistan. As per General Kurilla, it is important rather for United States to maintain a non-binary relationship with both the neighboring nations, asserting that the US must not view its South Asia policy through a zero-sum lens. He has also praised Islamabad for extraditing Mohammad Shariful, also known as Zafar, who was one of the very key individuals behind the Abbey Gate bombings, in which the victims included 13 military American personnel. This has come after the Trump administration invited Pakistan Army Chief Field Marshal Asim Munir to attend the US Army celebrations held on the 14th of June. The remarks, which were made during the Congress testimony, are likely to ruffle the feathers in New Delhi at a time when India has intensified the global lobbying to isolate Pakistan diplomatically following the Pahalgam terror attack in April, while India continues to make its resolve stronger than ever. This is what the United States, in a surprise move, has reacted. While joining me live on the broadcast is Lieutenant Colonel Himanshi Singh on the broadcast, in fact, to speak to us on the subject. Very good morning, ma'am, and thank you very much for being with us. Now, if you have heard the statements correctly, they in a very specific manner hint at the United States is not going to look at maintaining a relationship with Pakistan in a binary manner. That means that India is also important, Pakistan is also important, but at the same time overlooking very conveniently as to what has happened in India when the US Vice President J.D. Vance was present in India and in fact was in a family visit to India. How do you react?
Thank you, Simran. General Michael Kurilla's remark in US Congress calling Pakistan a phenomenal counter-terrorism partner are not just diplomatically tone deaf, but they are also historically blind. Pakistan's track record is stained with harboring and exporting terrorism, from Osama bin Laden being found in Abbottabad, its military's direct support to jihadis proxies in Afghanistan and Kashmir. It is not a partner. It is an enabler of chaos. America's recent posture of clearing this fog, I think India must recognize what Washington sees us. It is that we are not the strategic allies and Pakistan is. We are just transactional business partners. And if US believes that it can arm twist Bharat into buying overly priced military hardware with no transfer of technology, no source codes, and perpetual dependence, I think it is time for a rude awakening. India has already paid for Apache helicopters, GE engines, but there are no deliveries. Good faith and business practices go hand in hand, and it is time that India know this, and Washington must need to learn this. Asif Munir must be celebrating the US Military Day, but let us be clear, the entire world knows which country in the world actually fights terrorism with resolve and which one has having it breeding its in backyard. So India does not need lectures, it needs respect. It will earn it not by alliance with such countries of convenience, but by building self-reliant defense capabilities on its own turn. Because this has come at a time when Munir is invited as a special guest to US for the military day. So the message is very, very clear, and we must actually understand and make our diplomacy around it. Thank you very much, Simran.
In fact, Lieutenant Colonel Himanshi Singh, and I appreciate your comments, in fact, being put in right perspective. Also joining me live on the broadcast is international affairs expert Surinder Singh Lali. Sir, appreciate you being with us on the telecast. And in the view of the conversation with the Lieutenant Colonel Himanshi Singh, this is what is being understood at this point of time. How does India react India definitely has not opted to be silent on such comments. India has, in fact, very strategically, very dominantly made it abundantly clear that what it means into the countering the terrorism activities on the soil. So, in the view of these comments, where it is being made very clear that the United States is not going to maintain a binary relationship with Pakistan or India, how do you think India should react, Mr. Lali?
Thank you, Simran. It's a pleasure and honor for me to be here. And I don't think the very nimble and deft Foreign Minister needs my advice, but Simran, we have been acting in strategic autonomy. I mean, we have kept a relationship with Russia while we do have a relationship with America and also with Iran. So I have a feeling, and allow me to park my point next to the very distinguished colonel that spoke before me, is that, diplomacy is not in black and white, and especially with the United States of America. U.S. sees everything as gray. I mean, I'll give you 8 reasons why America is going to behave the way they are behaving, and they have behaved in the past. Is number one, America needs Pakistan to do the dirty job. We have a Pakistani defense minister on record saying that we do the dirty job. I mean, Imran Khan went to the U.S. in a think tank and said that we have 30 to 40,000, terrorists that are living in Pakistan. And then, there are other distinguished, lack of a better expression, Pakistani politicians who admitted that they have, Al-Qaeda and all those jihadi organizations in them. So please understand that the United States believes in the same divide and rule policy that the Britishers did and ruled us for over 200 years. I mean, they will always need Pakistan in this part of the world. Number one, because Pakistan has borders with Iran and they want to keep Iran under check. Number two, with India. I mean, America also uses, Pakistan to keep India under check, and so does China. And then, Afghanistan. There is still unfinished business in Afghanistan, and America still needs, a rent-an army kind of a country in this part of the world where they can pay a price and use the fringe, rogue, insurgent Pakistani army. Number two, sea routes are big, so is economics. So the Arabian Sea and the warm Indian Ocean, the world needs us, be it for our sea routes or for, the CPAC. And if I may unofficially say that, according to me, Cold War 2.0 is on. I mean, on one side is, China and Afghanistan and Russia, and the other side is America and their allies. And number three is also the Strait of Hormuz, where it's important, it connects Persia, Gulf to the Arabian Sea. So this has access to a lot of Central Asian countries and also all the way to West Asia. And then Afghanistan and then China. So please understand that we cannot be very emotional about dealing in America. They do what is in their best interest, and so should we. I mean, Simran, I was at a seminar about, a few months ago, and I personally heard the ex-American ambassador, Eric Garcetti, say, and I'm going to quote him, and quote opens that, I know that India, and I respect that India likes a strategic autonomy, but in times of conflict, there is no such thing as strategic autonomy, quote close. And this is what America is doing. I mean, the worst kept secret in the world is where was Osama bin Laden found. I mean, Pakistan took, I think, about $30-some billion from the U.S. in the war of terror, and yet Osama bin Laden was found in Pakistan. So please understand, we don't need to preach the choir. They know what they're doing. It's just that for us, we come with a very clarified head. We will buy our gasoline, we will buy our LS-400s, and yet we will keep American good humor because we need the technology. And my last point is that please understand, Donald Trump cannot be taken very seriously. I have a feeling he might just go lame duck, maybe after a couple of years, because he's an extremely transactional individual who says something else in the morning and something else in the evening. I mean, the way the messy divorce that has been on the World Forum between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. I mean, they pretty much fight in the morning, and in the evening they kiss and make up. So we can't take this visit of General Asim Munir seriously beyond the point. Yes, a rogue state like Pakistan has everything to celebrate because that's probably the only thing they have. So they will celebrate. But America needs us in the Indo-Pacific, in the global South. America needs us, so we don't need to, react. We simply need to act.
Well,
Thank
all
you,
right.
Simran.
Thank you very much. In fact, our expert Surinder Singh Lali, thank you very much for being with us on the broadcast. In fact, also breaking it down. While I'll request you to kindly stay on with us, in a further developments in a major crackdown, the Canadian police have busted a large drug and the terror network with suspected links to the Khalistani supporters under their operation called Project Pelican. The investigation by the Peel Regional Police has led to Canada's biggest ever drug seizure, including 479 kilograms of cocaine worth $47.9 million, while 9 people, including 7 men of Indian origin living in Canada, have been apprehended. They have been arrested, and according to the police, the group used commercial trucking routes between the US and the Canada to had the connections to the Mexican drug cartels and US-based distributors. Reports have suggested that proceeds from the drugs was being used to fund the anti-India activities, including protests, beside funding for the weapons. The accused faced a total of 35 charges related to the firearm and drug offences, the Canadian police has revealed. The crackdown comes ahead of PM Modi's visit to Canada for the G7 meet. Canadian police official has spoken on the project as well. Let's listen in.
This is no small effort and months in the making and countless hours to bring us here today. It shows that when given the tools and resources, our officers can accomplish absolutely anything. And I can tell you, seizures like this make a huge difference in the well-being of our Ontario communities. Whenever we get illicit substances off our streets, we are quite literally saving lives and protecting Ontario. And that's exactly what our government ran on in our recent election that concluded on February 27th, protecting Ontario. It means protecting Ontario economically, but it also means protecting Ontario with a public safety priority in mind.
All right, Aditya Vadhavan, my colleague, joins me with more updates. Aditya, now we have also heard the official statement coming after the biggest seizure that Canada has been able to make a breakthrough into the drug cartels being spread across the international borders, and ahead of the visit of the world leaders at the G7 in Canada. How do you think this important breakthrough is going to also improve the ties, as this is one of the biggest seizures which has curtailed down the anti-India activities that have been spreaded on the Canadian soil?
Well, absolutely. If you see, this is a biggest drug, bust by the Canadian police and the Canadian government. This has been done with the help of the Canadian Border Police, and this has been done with the help of the Canadian Border Police, and it is very significant at this juncture that such a thing has happened, and it is a very major breakthrough, because US has in the past conveyed the fact that Mexico and Canada borders are being used to push drugs into United States of America. So this is also can be partially an effect of the hard immigration policy that Trump is following, and at this juncture it is very essential how further drug controls and drug cartels that are operating in and around Mexico and Canada can be taken to task. At this juncture, it is very significant that it can be a step towards improving Indo-Canadian relationships in the future, because it's just as you mentioned that this was happening somewhere. Aim of this drug trafficking was to harm India as well. So at this juncture, it is a welcome move by Canada, and particularly when Canada is set to host the G7 summit, it is of utmost significance. Simran.
All right, in fact, Aditya, thank you very much for being with us on the broadcast. Now, Surinder Singh Lali joins us live on the broadcast as well, as one of the biggest developments that have happened in the recent times. As far as Indo-Canadian ties are concerned, Project Pelican has been intensified. Mr. Lali, the project has been titled as Project Pelican, and this is of course going down in the history with a lot of recognition for the Canadian police. But What also comes down at this point of time in the focus is the fact that anti-India activities that are being spread on the Canadian soil from the people of the Indian origin have also got a setback, and this is in fact going to improve in the coming days, the relationship between the Indian leadership and the Canadian leadership, ever since they have hit a new low in the previous relationship.
Thank you, Simran. Simran, this rot goes back to the 80s when Pierre Trudeau Sr. was told that there are two, gentlemen who called themselves Sikhs were testing some sort of bombs in their backyard. And there were Indian intelligence reports also given to them, and he didn't pay no heed to it. He says it's okay, and I'm going to quote Ujjwal Dosanjh, the ex-premier of British Columbia, on this one. And he says that, oh, it's okay, this is one turban fighting another, we don't care. And it is only because of that attitude we lost, 329 lives in our Air Kanishka, passenger flight. So this rot goes back to them, and I don't think this should be called, Project Pelican. It should be called Project Piranha, because these NRIs who call themselves Sikhs and don't even understand 101 of Sikhism are eating Canada up. I mean, a lot of criminal activities, nefarious activities, cross-border, immigration frauds are happening because a lot of them happen to be in the trucking business. And they're using this money not only to fund anti-India activities, but even otherwise to hollow the Canadian society, because, there are probably 800,000 Punjabis, in Canada, but they have prevailed over, the Canadian government to have them negotiated on an interest with the fourth largest economy in the world. So that's why I call them a piranha. And this kind of doubles down when even, ISI and the deep state of Pakistan further joins these people in anti-India activities. I've been to the New York Sikh parade, and I've personally seen out in the open, Pakistani diplomats standing under the banner of these individuals who I think are nourished under the bogey of free speech in Canada only to try and, possibly keep India on a back foot, but that ain't happening anymore. So yes, you're right, that is them with Pakistani deep state that these Johnnies are nourished, and a narrative is built for anti-India activities, and this is only the leaves. There is a lot more rot in the Canadian society. A lot of these key elements have penetrated into the Parliament and into the Canadian Peel Police and the Royal Mountain Police Force. I mean, I'm not going to paint everybody with one brush, but Simran, there are 22 Punjabis elected into the House of Commons. So I hope that they understand and drive some sense into the Canadian dispensation that your relationship between India and Canada is far more important than only, sort of succumbing to these fringe rogues who get this illegal drug money to fund local Congress people in the municipal elections, Simran.
Absolutely. In fact, Mr. Ali, thank you very much for being with us on the broadcast and sharing your detailed takes on the subject. Now from there, developments from Kochi are being traced, where a major fire has broken out on the board of the Singapore flagged container vessel MV Van Hey F03 503, I beg your pardon, anchored off the Kochi coast. The fire was first reported on the 9th of June. In a daring firefighting effort today, emergency teams airdropped dry chemical powder to control the flames. The Indian Coast Guard is actively monitoring the situation with firefighting ships on the standby. So far, no injuries or casualties have been reported. Authorities are investigating the cause, while efforts continue to prevent further spread of the fire in the cargo hold. Perry Thomas joins me with more updates. Belly, the incident continues to blaze on board of the Van Hey 503 Singapore vessel on the Kochi shore also sparks concern. What more details are you picking up as far as the official statements are concerned about the prevailing situation?
Simran, the rescue operations are still underway by the Indian Coast Guard, and in the incident of the Singapore flag container ship MV Van Hey 503, where this vessel was carrying 22 crew members, including 8 Chinese, 6 Taiwanese, 5 Myanmaris, and 3 Indonesian nationals. And the latest is that dry chemical powder was airdropped to control the fire that broke out on the June 9th on the vessel. Following the explosion and escalation of the fire, the crew abandoned the ship. 18 crew members have been rescued, while 4 still remain missing. And a search and rescue operation is currently underway by the Indian Coast Guard. The Indian Navy also in a closely coordinated search and rescue operation with the Coast Guard, DG Shipping, other stakeholders have safely rescued 18 out of 22 crew members of this vessel. And the MB had reported an internal container explosion and resultant major fire on board. The inputs of the incident were received at around ISC IOR at about 093 hour on 9th June. The INS Surat and a Dornier aircraft were immediately deployed by the Indian Navy to render necessary assistance, and at about 16:30 hours, all the 18 out of 22 crew members were safely rescued by Surat. First aid has been rendered to the injured crew members, and the ship is presently proceeding to the New Mangalore for disembarkation and further medical management. This is from the Indian Navy sources.
All right, Belly, thank you very much for sharing the latest details. Now, massive action in the Khandwa today as the municipal corporation has launched an anti-encroachment drive at the Shakkar Pond area. While during the drive, the municipal commissioner Priyanka Rajawat has confirmed that over 100 illegal houses have been razed following months of public notices and warnings. 25 homes with valid court stay orders were not touched. The civic body has said that it has been fair and transparent throughout the process. Carrying out the demolition, which they have now started with, the demolition follows a 4-month-long effort to reclaim public land and clear the encroachments around the water body. Let's now listen in.
शक्कर तालाब का ये एरिया है जो 16 एकड़ करीब के एरिया में शक्कर तालाब है। अब यहाँ पे पक्का निर्माण होके और इस जगह पे अतिक्रमण किया गया था। तो लगभग पिछले 4 महीने से ये कार्रवाई हम लोग कर रहे थे। नोटिस देना, लगातार अनाउंसमेंट्स करना, लोगों को बोलना कि आप यहाँ से स्वयं अलग कर लीजिए अपना, और फिर आज यहाँ पे सुबह 5 बजे से ये कार्रवाई अलग करने के लिए कर रहे हैं। लगभग 100 घर हमने यहाँ से अलग किए हैं, जिनका स्टे था ऐसे 25 को।
Javed Khan is joining me live with more updates. Now, this is the anti-encroachment drive that is being conducted at the Shakkar Pond area, as it is being also said in the official statement. What is the local administration now reacting to people pleading over the demolition drive, and why exactly this was taken or the decision was taken at this point of time at this site? Share more details, Javed.
बिल्कुल ये खंडवा शहर का ये वाला क्षेत्र है जहाँ पर लोगों ने सालों से करीब 100 से अधिक अतिक्रमण कर मकान बना लिए थे और रह रहे थे। और यहाँ नगर निगम ने यहाँ पर इनको पहले सबसे पहले नोटिस दिया गया और उन्हें खाली करने की बात कही गई और समय सीमा तय की गई। समय सीमा तय के अनुसार आज मतलब अपने अपने मकान सुबह से ही टीम भारी पिघल के साथ सुबह यहाँ पर कार्रवाई हटाने की है।
Well, all right. Thank you very much, Javed, for sharing more details. Now, parts of Hyderabad city have came to a standstill after being lashed by heavy rainfall, triggering widespread waterlogging in several areas. Visuals coming in from Santosh Nagar and the Champapet show the flooded roads, stranded vehicles and major disruptions in the daily movement of civilians. While the drainage systems struggle to cope, residents were left wading through knee-deep water. Authorities are on alert as the weather department has predicted more rainfall in the coming hours. Civic teams have been deployed, but water clearances remain slow in many localities. Raj Kiran is joining me live with more updates. Raj Kiran, if we talk about the coastal regions, in fact, Hyderabad also is one of the highly affected regions after rainfall has lashed the paths of several states. And in fact, the visuals which show complete devastation on the roads. What more are you picking up?
Yes, Imran, we have seen heavy rainfall lashes in Hyderabad, in different parts of Hyderabad and city outskirts. Today early morning from 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. There is a heavy rainfall recorded in Hyderabad, especially in the Medak district of outskirts of the Hyderabad, especially in the Medak district. It has been noticed that more than 150 mm of water has been rain has been lashed in Medak district. So now, after the early in the morning, there was no municipal authorities. Why? Because a sudden rainfall has been noticed here. There was no municipal authorities working at the early morning. So when municipal authorities came and TRF team also came to the spot and cleared the water logging areas. Why? Because from 8 o'clock here the traffic starts. So now all the things has been cleared by the GHMC, Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation. Special teams has been deployed and cleared the water logging areas, especially in the Champapet and Santosh Nagar areas, where it has been noticed that more than half a kilometer the water logging has been seen. But within 15 to 20 minutes after the GHMC authorities and the DRF team has reached the spot and cleared the drainage system which has been struck from the early morning. So now the water has been cleared and the traffic is normally going on, but till now we have not noticed that water again rains not lashing out. But whereas the IMD department have given an alert that in next 48 hours, coming 48 hours, there will be a heavy to very heavy rainfall in Hyderabad and different parts of Telangana. So now we have to see now all the GHMC authorities and DRF teams already came onto the field and they are observing each and everything very keenly. In many places, we also notice that trees have been fallen down due to the heavy wind, and it also been cleared in Telangana.
Well, all right. Thank you very much, Raj, for sharing the latest updates. Now, the chilling murder case of the Indore man, Raja Raghuvanshi, who was killed in Meghalaya during his honeymoon, has shaken the whole nation. The case was a mystery when Raja's dead body was found in Shillong from the gorge, but his wife Sonam was missing. But slowly it took many turns, as it was not until the June 9th that the police arrested Sonam from the Uttar Pradesh for allegedly killing her husband by hiring contract killers. As the investigation continues in the case, new updates and details are emerging. My colleague Nibir Deka has filed a timeline of the entire case. Let's take a look.
Presently, we are in Shillong and we are at the lower Laishomer area. This is the exact area where the couple Sonam Raghuvanshi and Raghav Raghuvanshi had checked in on May 21. We are in front of the guest house, Balaji guest house, where they had checked in, after which they had taken a scooty and had gone to the Nongriat village, which is 3 hours from Shillong, which is a very remote area. This area is very crucial because this is the first area where the couple had come and they checked in, and from here they had taken a scooty on May 21. After that, they went missing on the next day in the Nongriat area. Today, we are expecting that Sonam Raghuvanshi to come here based on the transit remand with the Meghalaya police, and they are going to do a recreation of the crime scene, after which Sonam will be taken to the crime scene as well. But this area is very crucial because they came to Shillong, they first checked into the local homestay, and after which they had taken a scooty to go to that remote area. Very interesting question is that the area that they had went for their honeymoon is a very remote area, and people usually do not take a scooty if they're coming for the first time to go to such an area, but they had taken a scooty and they had gone to that area, and after which they had gone missing. So these are the questions that has been coming up, and the police is now investigating the matter, trying to recreate the entire scene so that they can go to the bottom of the We are present today in Nongrihat in Meghalaya, Sohra district. This is exactly the route which Sonam Raghuvanshi and Raja Raghuvanshi took when they visited this very particular place. This is a very beautiful place, remote and isolated. They had visited this very particular place, after which they had gone to the other side of the hill, and after which Raja Raghuvanshi was found missing, and following which his body was. You can see a lot of tourists visit the place on an annual basis, and the locals are also here. They have some shops here, but the bigger question here is that how they had come to this remote location, and following which the husband had gone missing. These locals also provide sticks to get inside. This is a very beautiful place, but following the incident, this place had got a very bad reputation. But when we spoke to the locals here, they have said that there is no created a big name from this place, but they had gone to a different place elsewhere. This is a very isolated place, and very interesting is that they have come all alone here without any guide, without any local tourist support, and it's very unique to find someone coming from Indore to visit such a remote area without any local support. That has drawn speculations and also, theories coming up whether what was the intent of them visiting a place such as this without any support of the locals. So that is the reason we are showing you how the areas which the couple had visited in Meghalaya when they came here for the honeymoon, and we all know that after which the dead body of Raja Raghuvanshi was found. You must know Cherrapunji, which receives the highest annual rainfall in the country. We are going in the interior parts of Cherrapunji along with a big SUV car, where this is the very route which Raja Raghuvanshi and Sonam Raghuvanshi took in their honeymoon travel. And very interestingly is that you will not see a single scooty or bike, but they came all the way from Indore on their scooty in this terrain, which is a very confusing thing, because people, even the locals, do not prescribe to come here on a two-wheeler. And this is one of the most beautiful regions of Meghalaya, because this is Cherrapunji, highest rainfall. It is filled with clouds, because Meghalaya, as you know, means clouds, and this is one of the places where the couple had visited. And if you see that this is a very secluded place, this is also our team, they are helping us, they are a local team, and without the cars that we are traveling, this is a very secluded place. Even if you do anything, it is going to take at least 2-3 hours to get a proper response. So this is where the crime was committed, in this very particular district. We are going to go to the exact location where we found the body of Raja Raghuvanshi. The aspect here is not the death. The bigger aspect here is how a scenic location such as this was converted into a murder spot. And what followed later was a blame to the Meghalaya people that they were involved in this heinous crime. And today, when we know about the facts of the matter, we are getting more and more clear picture. But if you, it is a very remote and dense location as we travel inside this Sohra district. This is a very remote location. Even the locals do not come here on a daily basis, and this is the exact route which the couple had taken when they went missing. And very interestingly, as per sources, we are getting to know that they even called their guide not to come on the very particular day they had gone inside. Usually, one needs a guide to go inside these terrain and these jungles. We are taking a guide, which is the car in front of us. We are not even coming alone, but they came alone in a place like this, and later on they went missing. So these are the questions. These are big questions. The Meghalaya government and the Meghalaya police is investigating to find out more and more angles of this very particular case of the murder of Raja Raghuvanshi, and also the entire matter involving this case. Today, we are exactly at the place where Sonam Raghuvanshi and Raja Raghuvanshi had gone on the last time. This is the last time where both of them were sighted. They went below this very particular passage. This is one of the most beautiful and most remote locations of Meghalaya. You can see on the right, this is the hill. This is such a dense forest. This is a totally dense forest. It's one of the most challenging places in Meghalaya because it is so dense. This is exactly on the place where Raja Raghuvanshi and Sonam Raghuvanshi, look at the passage. I would ask the camera person to show the entire passage. Look at the dense passage. This is the passage where Sonam and Raja went alone. And exactly on this route, in this jungle, they went. And the bigger challenge is, look at the jungle. This is such an isolated places. Currently, our team of ITV network, we are here. We have not seen a single person visiting in this place. Although it is a tourist place, there are a lot of guides, there are a lot of protection, proper facility has been provided by the Meghalaya government. But look at this. There is a river flowing below us. There are waterfalls flowing on the hills. If you get lost in this place, it is very difficult to even find your body. And that has been the challenge of the Meghalaya police, to find the body of Raja Raghuvanshi, and also how Sonam and Raja had visited this place all alone by themselves. They are not locals here. Remember, they're not from Meghalaya, they're not from Northeast. They're coming all the way from Indore, and they're coming here in a very secluded location. They have visited their honeymoon in this very particular passage. And if you go inside, look at how remote this area is, jungle area. They visited this place. This is the last place where Raja Raghuvanshi and Sonam were sighted together by the nearby people, by the guide in this particular village from Meghalaya, from the exclusively from the ground. We are the first team to visit here to show you how they had visited from this place, and they went missing, and the dead body of Raja Raghuvanshi was found in this part of the state. With Visual Nishan, this is Nibideka reporting for NewsX.